The truth is harsh. Those who don't change are replaced. You may think that your experience, talent, or effort guarantees your place, but you are wrong. The world doesn't wait. Innovation does not ask for permission. And those who stick to what they already know, what has always worked, are condemned to mediocrity. Yesterday's success doesn't protect anyone today. While you hesitate, someone faster, more adaptable, and bolder is ready to take your place. And when you realize it, it will be too late. The choice is simple: evolve or disappear. For decades, we have been taught to believe a comfortable lie. If we work hard, follow the rules, and wait patiently, we will be rewarded. This belief has fueled entire generations. The problem? The world has changed, but many people still live as if they are stuck with an outdated manual. The idea of security, at work, in business, in life, is nothing more than an illusion. For years, large corporations sold the dream of stable employment, but in recent times we have seen entire industries disappear. Machines replaced workers. Software has made professions obsolete. Artificial intelligence is reshaping the market. And in the meantime, many still resist change, believing that their old skills and methods will still be valued. But here's the truth: no one is safe from irrelevance. What worked in the past does not guarantee the future. If you don't evolve, you are just postponing the inevitable. The comfort zone is one of the most dangerous places someone can be. It gives a false sense of control while slowly making you obsolete. Think about the professionals who refused to learn new technologies, believing that their experience would be enough. They were the first to be let go when the market changed. It happens all the time. Entire banks closing branches because customers prefer digital. Physical stores closing because e-commerce dominates. Traditional professions being swallowed up by new solutions. And what happens to those who refuse to see this reality? They are discarded. If you think you are safe, if you believe you already know enough that your position is secure, be careful. That's exactly where the danger lies. The moment you stop reinventing yourself is the moment you start digging into your own irrelevance. Many hold on to the past because it is familiar. I've always done it this way, and it's always worked. This thinking is a direct shortcut to mediocrity. Great empires have already fallen due to this mentality. Giant companies like Kodak and Blockbuster were decimated because they refused to accept that the world had changed. They had everything: resources, recognition, influence. But they didn't have the ability to adapt. And if even giants fall, what makes you think you're immune? If you want to avoid this fate, you need to understand one simple rule: change is not optional. It is the only way to remain relevant. Faced with this reality, there are only two paths: reinvent yourself or be forgotten. The world has no pity on those left behind. The market does not reward resistance to change. If you want to grow, you need to abandon the idea of security and embrace the discomfort of evolution. The question is, are you willing to pay the price of change, or will you wait until you are replaced? If there is one absolute truth in the world of business and personal growth, it is this: the game never stops. While you hesitate, someone is taking action. While you are complacent, someone else is reinventing themselves. The world will not slow down for you to reach your ideal pace. Reality is merciless to those who don't keep up with its speed. History is full of examples of people and companies who believed they had time, who thought they could wait for the right time to change. And they all learned the hard way that inertia has a high price. I'll wait a little longer to see if this trend really takes hold. When things stabilize, I'll start catching up. I can't change now, it's too risky. These phrases are mental traps that destroy careers, businesses, and opportunities. The time you spend waiting is the time someone smarter uses to move forward. When Netflix came along, Blockbuster thought it was just a fad. When transportation apps emerged, taxi companies believed nothing would change. When e-commerce started to grow, many traditional retailers thought that customers would always prefer the physical store. The result? Companies that existed for decades have disappeared. Experienced professionals became irrelevant, all because they believed in the illusion of time. If you think you can wait, you are already falling behind. Technology and innovation do not advance in a straight line. They grow exponentially. This means that changes are happening faster and faster. What took 10 years to change now takes 2. What seemed impossible yesterday is now reality. Artificial intelligence is already replacing jobs that once seemed untouchable. Automation is eliminating functions at record speed. Digital businesses are dominating entire industries, and those who don't keep up with this rhythm disappear. If you are not constantly learning, testing, and adapting, you are becoming obsolete with each passing day. The rule of 3. Types of people faced with any big change. There are always 3 types of people. The pioneers, those who see change before others and take the lead. They create new opportunities, take risks, and reap the greatest benefits. The adaptables, those who take a while but realize they need to change. They don't lead, but they manage to survive and stay relevant. Those left behind, those who ignore the changes, resist until the last moment, and when they realize it, they have already been replaced. The question is, which group do you want to be in? If you want to be pioneering or at least adaptable, you need to adopt a new mental model. You need to accept that security does not come from stability, but from the ability to adapt. The only way to not be overtaken is to move faster than the rest. You need to learn before others. You need to test it before others. You need to reinvent yourself before others. Whoever acts first leads. Whoever hesitates obeys. Whoever resists disappears. Now that you understand this new dynamic, the question is no longer with you must change, but do this as efficiently as possible. Now that it is clear that whoever doesn't change is replaced, the big question arises: how to reinvent yourself in an intelligent and effective way. Changing for the sake of changing is not enough. You need a clear strategy to evolve consistently without wasting time on random attempts. Reinvention does not happen by accident. She follows a process, and those who master this process stand out while others disappear. Step 1. Destroy your old beliefs. The biggest obstacle to change is not in the external world. It's inside your own mind. It's the outdated beliefs you carry, often without realizing it. Perhaps you have been conditioned to believe that your experience guarantees your future. Changes are always risky. Talent is more important than adaptability. If something has always worked, it will continue to work. All these ideas are wrong. The moment you cling to an old model of success, you are signing your mediocrity sentence. The first step to reinvention is having the courage to question everything you think you know. Ask yourself, what beliefs are preventing me from evolving? If you don't have this clarity, it will be impossible to move forward. Step 2. Identify where the world is going. Changing without direction is useless. You need to see trends before the majority. You need to understand where your industry, your market, and your profession are heading. This requires 2 things. Constant information. If you're not learning something new every day, you're falling behind. Read books. Follow sector news. Study the movements of large companies. Strategic networking. Who you know determines what you know. Be close to people who are already on the path to innovation. Talk, observe, learn from them. Successful reinvention is not the result of chance. It happens when you anticipate the future and positions itself before others. Step 3. Build new skills. Knowledge alone is not enough. You need to be able to apply what you learn, and that means constantly acquiring new skills. Ask yourself, what are the skills that will make me valuable in the next 5 years? What can I learn now that will put me ahead of the competition? The skills that got you here may not be the same ones that will take you forward. The world belongs to those who are willing to update themselves non-stop. Step 4. Act before you're ready. Most people never reinvent themselves because they wait for the ideal condition. But the truth is that this condition never arrives. If you wait to be 100% prepared, someone else will have already taken your place. Those who grow the most are those who understand that action precedes trust. You don't need to have everything under control. You just need to take the first step. Reinvention is movement. And if you're not moving, you're being passed. Now that you understand the reinvention process, a new challenge arises. The internal and external obstacles that sabotage your change. Most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they cannot overcome the forces that keep them stuck in the past. These enemies of change are sneaky, and if you don't identify and eliminate them, They will destroy you before you even know it. Enemy number 1, fear of failure. The fear of making mistakes paralyzes more people than any other factor. From a young age, we were taught to avoid failure, as if making mistakes was synonymous with definitive failure. But this is one of the most dangerous lies we have ever been told. The truth? If you're not failing, you're not trying anything new. If you're not trying anything new, you're stagnant. If you are stagnant, it's only a matter of time before it's replaced. Every great innovator made mistakes countless times before getting it right. Failure is just a course adjustment. The real failure is not taking action. Enemy number 2, the opinion of others. Nothing sabotages reinvention more than fear of judgment. When you try to change, there will always be people around you telling you not to risk it. Are you going to drop something safe for this? But you've always done it this way, why change now? What if it doesn't work? Most people don't want you to change because someone's change exposes the mediocrity of those left behind. If you let yourself be led by what others think, you will be giving up your future to please those who don't have the courage to grow. Enemy number 3, attachment to the past. The biggest mistake made by companies, professionals, and even empires throughout history was one, believing that the past will always be enough to guarantee the future. The world is full of examples of giants that went bankrupt because they refused to change. Nokia dominated the cell phone market but ignored smartphones. Blockbuster could have bought Netflix, but they didn't believe in streaming. Kodak invented the digital camera but didn't want to kill his own photographic film business. What did these companies have in common? They were all stuck in the past. If you want to reinvent yourself, you need a nostalgia. What worked before may not work anymore. And if you don't free yourself from it, you will be dragged into irrelevance. Enemy number 4, the illusion of stability. If you still believe that there is stability in the professional world, you need to understand one thing: the only truly safe place is the one you create for yourself. Stable jobs no longer exist. Entire sectors can disappear overnight. If you are not in control of your own evolution, you will always be vulnerable to being discarded when the world changes. Real stability comes from continuous adaptation. The faster you adapt, the safer you are. The more resistant to change you are, the more unstable your future will be. What to do now? You already know the enemies of change. Now you need to choose. Will you allow fear, other people's opinions, attachment to the past, and the illusion of stability to condemn you to mediocrity? Or will you eliminate them and take control of your evolution? The answer to this question defines who grows and who disappears. Those who reinvent themselves quickly not only avoid mediocrity, but become impossible to replace. Here's how to do it strategically. Adopt the infinite learning mindset. The speed of your reinvention depends on how quickly you learn. The knowledge you have today has an expiration date, and the only way to stay relevant is learning faster than others. Read every day. The most successful minds in the world invest hours a day in reading. Take practical courses. Traditional education is increasingly obsolete. Learn from those on the battlefield. Turn mistakes into learning. Every failure brings a lesson. The faster you process your mistakes, the faster you move forward. Learning cannot be something occasional. It needs to be a daily habit. 2. Become a problem solver. The most valuable people in any market are not the ones who do the basics. They are the ones that solve complex problems. If you want to become irreplaceable, ask yourself, what pressing issues does my company or industry face today? What few people can solve but I can learn to solve? The shortage of problem solvers creates opportunities. If you develop this skill, you will always be in demand, regardless of market changes. Develop a multidisciplinary profile. The traditional expert is at risk. If you only master one area, you are vulnerable. The most successful professionals of the future will be those who know combined skills from different areas. A programmer who understands business is worth more than an ordinary programmer. A salesperson who masters digital marketing is more valuable than a traditional salesperson. A leader who understands psychology has more impact than a leader who only knows how to delegate. The intersection between different skills creates new opportunities. The more complementary skills you have, the harder it will be to replace you. Build your personal brand. The market values recognized experts. If you are just another name on a resume, you will be disposable. But if you become a reference, opportunities will come to you. How to build this? Share your knowledge. Post on LinkedIn, create content, teach what you know. Demonstrate results. No one wants to hear theory. Show real cases and achievements. Associate yourself with influential people. Well-done networking opens doors that talent alone cannot open. Be good at what you do, it's not enough. You need to make sure the right people know this. Create your own projects. The greatest proof of competence is not what you say, but what you do. Want to become unquestionable? Build something. Launch your own project. Test an idea on the market. Solve a problem in an innovative way. Companies value those who take initiative. Clients trust those who have already delivered results. If you rely solely on your current job to prove your worth, you're taking a huge risk. Create something that demonstrates your capabilities. It will shield you from obsolescence. The difference between those who prosper and those who are replaced lies in the pace of reinvention. The faster you learn, experiment, and evolve, the harder it will be to overtake you. Now that you know how to speed up this process, there is one last fundamental piece left: the mindset needed to sustain lifelong reinvention. Reinvention cannot be an isolated event. If you want to stay on top, you need to turn evolution into a lifestyle. The people who dominate any market are not the smartest or most talented. They are those who think differently. They see the world through a lens that most ignore. They don't wait for changes to happen. They create the changes. What separates the irreplaceable from the disposable? Mentality. 1. Adopt growth thinking. Most people have a fixed mindset. They believe that talent and intelligence are limited. That change is difficult. What great achievements are for few. Irreplaceables, on the other hand, operate with a different mental model. They know that skills can be developed. No one is born prepared, but anyone can learn. Mistakes are stepping stones to the next level. Every failure is a lesson that brings them closer to success. Nothing is permanent. What's on top today could fall apart tomorrow, and they're always ready to reinvent themselves. If you want to become indispensable, you need to understand that your growth is limitless as long as you are willing to challenge yourself. Embrace the discomfort. Most people shy away from discomfort, avoid challenges, hide from risk. But here's a principle that the irreplaceables understand better than anyone. Growth only happens in discomfort. Do you want to become an excellent communicator? Face your fear of public speaking. Want to learn a new skill? Embrace the discomfort of being a beginner. Do you want to stand out in the market? Test ideas that no one has had the courage to explore. If you seek comfort, you are seeking stagnation. If you want evolution, you need to expose yourself to discomfort every day. Let go of your current identity. The biggest mistake that prevents reinvention is attachment to who you are today. Many people fail because they define their identity based on what they have already achieved, rather than what they can become. I'm a lawyer. I can't become an entrepreneur. I've always been an introvert. I can't lead a team. I already have enough experience. I don't need to learn this. These thoughts are traps. The identity of irreplaceables is flexible. They do not define themselves by what they have already done, but rather by what they are becoming. If you cling to your past self, you will be unable to evolve. To reinvent yourself, you need to be willing to let go of old versions of yourself. 4. Play the long-term game. Most people search quick rewards. They want immediate success, instant results, shortcuts to the top. The irreplaceables play a different game, the long-term game. They know that. True growth comes from consistency, not momentary bursts of effort. Small habits accumulated over time generate gigantic changes. Whoever resists the longest always wins. Who seeks immediate gratification. If you want to become someone who will never be replaced, you need to think years ahead of most. Take full responsibility. Nothing is more dangerous to your evolution than a victim mentality. If you blame the market, the crisis, technology, or any other external factor for your failure, you are giving up control of your own life. Irreplaceable people don't spend time complaining. They take full responsibility for their own growth. If something isn't working, they adjust it. If they are being outperformed, they learn faster. They understand that their life is 100% in their control. The question is, will you keep making excuses or will you take charge of your own reinvention? We have reached the endpoint of this journey. Now, you know the truth that most people ignore. Either you reinvent yourself or you will be left behind. The question is no longer what you need to change. The question is when. And the answer is simple: now. With each day that passes without taking action, you lose ground. Someone more prepared, more adaptable, and faster is taking up the space that could be yours. The market waits for no one. If you've come this far and just absorbed these ideas without applying them, nothing will change. Information without action is useless. Knowledge only has value when it is transformed into attitude. So here's your call to action. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait for the right time. Don't be under the illusion that you have time. Choose one of the steps you learned and start now. Eliminate your old beliefs. Question everything that holds you back in the past. Identify where the world is going. Study trends. Connect with innovators. Build new skills. Learn something that increases your value in the market. Aha before being soon. Error is part of growth. Those who don't act, don't move forward. Build your personal brand. Become a reference in what you do. The choice is before you. Will you reinvent yourself and grow, or will you wait to be replaced? The world belongs to those who make quick and courageous decisions. Be one of them.